decided to make a video because I knew that my words would not do justice. I do not come from a Methodist background. I am largely ignorant when it comes to Methodism. And I found this book incredibly fascinating. And I found my respect and admiration for John Wesley as a person and for the early movement at sometimes elevated and sometimes de-escalated. And it doesn't really matter because Wesley is not our end goal, it's Christ. But I saw in his life a great discipline, one that I don't have in my own. And I wrote about this earlier, with especially in the way that he was evaluating finances. I mean, for a person to dedicate their life completely to God, say if I have more than 10 pounds to my name when I die, you can call me a thief, it's a pretty powerful statement, and especially in the way that we now work around finances in America, and everyone has to have their retirement and everything, and it goes beyond what our daily needs are and into a whole other realm. But so there's a lot of things in that area where the discipline and the focus with which John Wesley pursued God are incredibly admirable. And I think that I've lost some of those in my life. And I think that our church as a whole has lost track of itself in many of those areas. However, because of John Wesley's continual struggle with his own salvation, that seemed to be directly tied to what merits had or hadn't happened, whether there was fruits of the Spirit or whether he was able to do certain things or not. That part really made me struggle with some of the early tenets of Methodism, because John Wesley's own faith and drive towards scriptural holiness directly affected early Methodism in a way that people would be kicked out of these meetings. Preachers would be taken, their preaching thing would away. At one point I was joking with my friends that this book should have been called John Wesley and the People Kicked Out of Methodism instead of John Wesley and the People of Methodism. And so that's where I struggle. And in many ways I've gained respect, and I've seen things that we as a Methodist church have completely lost that would be incredibly valuable to bring back. And in other ways, I think perhaps John Wesley wasn't necessarily led by the Spirit in some of the things that he did, and in some of the ways that directly interacted and informed the church, not necessarily were things of God. They looked like that, but so I don't know. I kind of come away with this with mixed feelings, saying, man, on one hand, we've got a lot to rediscover. On the other hand, I don't know that we want to venerate this person in any kind of sainthood way that we would say everything that they did was exactly right or accurate, because there were so many flaws there. And I think that if you took my life, you could say the same thing. And so it was a really good perspective. I don't want to ditch on the guy. I just want to have that accurate perception where we continue to keep our eyes on Jesus and on Scripture and allow John Wesley to be John Wesley, take the good things away and let the other ones stay.